So this week we have been fairly steady up until Thursday, and yesterday we experienced quite a dramatic sell-off, which has continued again this morning. We were down about 150, 160 points at the lows this morning, below the 5,000 level, which is obviously back where we were last week and the week before, unfortunately. The main reasons for this have just been continuing fears on a potential recession, and this has really been stemmed from weaker US manufacturing, weaker unemployment figures, and bad growth figures from the Eurozone as well. If you just have a look at the FTSE chart here, you can see the material move it's had over the last couple of weeks, dramatically back from kind of the 5,500, 5,600 level. If we just look at the next chart, this gives you a view of where the FTSE is yielding at the moment. We're yielding about pretty much 4% actually, just in comparison to the UK 10-year gilt, which is yielding closer to the 2% mark. By some metrics, this is making equities look as attractive as they have done for some time. So we have started to see potentially a bit of a switch into equities from fixed income. Just moving on to kind of stocks essentially. If we look at Barclays, which has been one of the biggest fallers of the week, they were down 11% yesterday at their lows, and were down a further 7% this morning. They have retraced that move slightly, but you can really see how this concern is stemming from the banking sector, and just continues to be exemplified. Just moving on to other stocks, Autonomy has been the big M&A story of the week. Last night, post the UK close, Hewlett-Packard announced firstly a stock split, and splitting it into two separate entities, but secondly a acquisition or attempted acquisition of Autonomy in London, which is obviously one of the UK's largest software producers. The acquisition was for £7 billion sterling, $11 billion, which equated to about £25.50. The closing price last night was around about £13.50, so equated to roughly an 80% premium. This put Autonomy on about 23 times earnings. They have actually, late last night, come out and recommended the cash offer to its shareholders. We now just have to wait and see if there are any competitors for this. Microsoft and Oracle have all been touted in the past as potentially being interested parties. So just looking on from the tech sector, potentially we may see other M&A stories emerging from there. So other companies, Arm, Imagination Technologies, which we're obviously a fan of. If we just move on to, in terms of what we covered last week, the fear index or the VIX index, you can see the VIX spiked up to 50 last week in intraday trading. Did retrace at the beginning of this week, but we're pretty much back up at those highs again, unfortunately. I mean, the moves have been very whippy, really, whereas we tend to trade in small ranges. The moves, especially today, for example, we were down 160 the open, and we're now down about 90 points in the space of about an hour and a half. So it is very volatile at the moment. Because of this, we can start to see a continued, we can continue to see a move into gold. Gold continues to touch new highs. Last time I checked, it was trading around about the 1870 level. It just continues to push on as people look for a safe haven asset for their cash. Apart from that, we haven't really got any big economic figures out today, so we'll have to wait and see what next week brings.